Hey, how are you? This is Tom Beal, and I just wanted to reach out and put a hand out and ask, how are you? Right? I had a conversation with a friend the other day. He caught me when I was in the middle of some busy work, and he asked how I was and gave a little bit of feedback, and then I asked how he was, and I just wanted to reach out to you to let you know that I'm thinking of you. And here we are in this day and age, coming out of the worldwide shutdown of the coronavirus, and then now in all of this uncertainty and new path with the murder of George Floyd and all of the uprising and protests and things like that to make a change, right? And it's time for change. Geez, I grew up in upstate New York, Rochester, New York. I went to 9 different schools by 8th grade in upstate New York and in North Carolina, and have, as the person I am, witnessed and been appalled at certain circumstances that have occurred for generations. So I'm excited for change. Change scares a lot of people. And the one thing that, in going to 9 different schools by 8th grade and in being raised by teenagers, a 17-year-old mother and a 19-year-old father, raised around 4 divorces and 6 marriages as a child, so in and out of families, change was something that's normal for me. And what I recognized when I got into business, when I got into the corporate world, and when I got into the entrepreneurial journey, is that I was less scared of change, less fearful of change than others that I came across, probably due to the upbringing that I just shared with you. And so I'm all for change. Change is good. Actually, lack of change bores the crap out of me. And I'm tired of sitting around watching not just this injustice that we've seen, but injustices around the world. And everybody pretends that they don't see it. And yes, this one here is definitely an issue that is getting the proper attention. And I'm excited to see where this change leads us. However, I'm also excited to see the blinders being taken off so that we don't pretend things around the world aren't crazy as well. And I will say things around our own United States, our cities, the education, the families, the billions, if not trillions of dollars spent on wars and creating weapons of mass destruction that can kill people with viruses. Why are we putting huge amounts of money to figure out a virus that can kill humanity? That's something to think about. Like, that's a blinder that we might want to talk about. All these things, the corruption in politics, we all see it. So this is the beginning of change that I hope isn't just going to occur on this particular issue, which is of the utmost importance. Yet it also removes our blinders to not pretend we don't see what the heck is going on with this particular situation and the situations that are happening in the United States and throughout the world that are atrocities in our times. Ladies and gentlemen, slavery still exists in this day and age throughout the world. It is disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, there are markets where they sell children, trafficking children. That's happening. And so, yes, this is a change that has focus. And what has me excited about this is it's long time coming, yet it's also hopefully going to let people literally walking by these atrocities pretending and whistling like they don't see it. And this is one of the glaring examples that is getting a lot of attention right now. What's the change going to look like? Who the heck knows? Nobody knows at this point. But I'm an advocate for change. I'm an advocate for being in and out of so many families, being in and out of so many different environments, and having friends in so many different circles. I was the person who was friends with the jocks, with the skaters, with the rappers, with the rockers, with everybody. And I was able to see how, and fit into all those different scenarios. So, and then in the Marine Corps, it's the melting pot as well. So I'm excited for this change. And not just the change that's going to happen societal, but the governmental changes, the economic changes, because this is not just going to pass. There's a lot of talk of, when are we getting back to normal? Normal, ladies and gentlemen, how we all grew up for the decades and generations that have occurred up to this point ended a while ago. This is all new territory. None of us know what's going to happen. It's all a facade right now. It's all taped together with duct tape. And who the heck knows where it's going to go. And by the way, I'm the biggest optimist there is. I will tell you this, it's all going to work. We are resilient. We will figure it out. But no one clearly understands how and what that's going to look like and what's going to occur economically, what's going to occur with the billion-dollar companies all the way at the top. The ones that aren't bailed out would be gone. Just let's be clear on that. From the banks to the airlines to the Amtrak to the cruise ships to all the billion-dollar companies. If they weren't backed by the government who's going to bail them out, they would all be gone and bankrupt. Let that sink in for a while. But guess what's going to happen? The companies that are below the billion-dollar names that aren't recognized, to include the hotels, you name it, it's ever expansive. But this is going to trickle down to all entrepreneurs and all companies and all households. Now, and here's the other reality. How many people now are unemployed? How many people used to have a business that they were prevented from having it open? And, all those consequences that happen personally and that will happen in the communities, that will happen in the neighborhoods, that will happen in the states and the countries as a whole. Countries would be bankrupt, by the way. It's all a facade. It's the fiat money. It's the printing. Yep. Okay, press the button and print more money. And that's a setup for, the hyperinflation where it's worthless. We might as well be using monopoly money. And this is not from a negative standpoint. You see my smile on the face. We will figure this out. But I'm here to tell you it's going to be different. And I'm also here to tell you that not sure anybody knows what that's going to look like. Not sure how this economic duct tape together situation is going to withhold, aka the house of cards that's built. When is it going to collapse? It's not a matter of if it's going to collapse. It's a matter of when it's going to collapse. Kind of like the Jenga we're in for. So there's a lot of change happening. And I will tell you this, just like I have been sitting in my life for decades observing and traveling the world and seeing the atrocities around the world, seeing the atrocities within this United States that are happening while our government is putting billions and billions of dollars into all these other wars and new creations of weapons of things that can wipe out humanity quicker while neglecting our house here in the United States. It's disgusted me for decades. And I'm happy that now others are getting disgusted. And with that, there can be a tipping point and there can be change. And I'm super disgusted with our government. Yes, you're watching. You and all the three-letter agencies in our government are the deep state that JFK was talking about, are who killed JFK. Hello, let's just call it what it is, because he had some talks about possibly breaking that up. So it has been for generations a level of corruption that the craziest story wouldn't give it justice. The truth will be so hard to swallow, most people won't even believe it, of how deep the corruption goes and how wide it goes. And it's not hard. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to piece it together when someone goes into, probably with good intentions, into being a senator or something of that nature, with a net worth of, let's just say, $500,000. Not too bad of a net worth, right? Then a few years later, well, and if you look at the current ones who, have been there for 40, 50, 60 years, are you kidding me? Lifetime corrupt politicians who when they came in, now they're worth $300 million, $800 million, doing what? Producing zero value other than bilking the system. It's clear as day. There was an Eddie Murphy comedy, The Distinguished Gentleman, he was a hustler, and he gets into the Senate, and he's like, this is the biggest scam ever. And that was a movie from either the late 80s. It's hilarious, but it's sad because it's true. And it's a freaking corruption that we're walking around la-di-da-da-da, pretending it doesn't happen. We're walking around la-di-da with the Federal Reserve, who has a name, Federal Reserve, just like Federal Express isn't owned by the government. Federal Reserve is not a government. It's a freaking corrupt banking system that has held us down, pressed us down, as we are all slaves of the Federal Reserve. Woohoo! We got that going for us. Anyhow, this all is the boiling pot to stimulate change, and I'm all for change because the corruption is bullshit and needs to end. And all those three-letter agencies watching me, Take that and sit on it. That's enough. We all see it. We all know the freaking Wizard of Oz curtains have pulled back and we see the BS. Your time is up. You're a cornered rat about to get extinguished. And I'm super excited about that because I took an oath as a Marine, as there's many of my brothers and sisters who took oaths to protect the Constitution and uphold the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. Well, guess what? Yes, the enemies foreign are a problem, but not as a problem as you, the deep state, those three-letter agencies, you pieces of crap. You know who you are. You will be held for war crimes. You will pay the price. Just like in World War II, when those people were put up on their trial for all the atrocities they claimed, the lives, and took the lives, but following orders, guess what? You're going down. You're going down. Your time is up. And it's not just me. The blinders are off. We see, and the tipping point is here, and that's why the shit has hit the fan now. That's why you're scared shitless, and if you don't get out of Dodge, you're going to deal with the consequences. That's life, ladies and gentlemen. So, we got that going for us, as would be said in the movie Caddyshack, right? Goonga Galunga. We got that going for us. So, anyhow, how are you? Right? Enough of all that. So the blinders are off. We see through the Wizard of Oz. The curtain has been pulled. The bullshit lies don't work. Yet, sadly, they do. Sadly, they do, because most people are hypnotized by the media, which is the arm of the CIA propaganda machine. And most people are blinded by it and believe the shit that those people read off the teleprompter. That's a truth. But there's enough people who see through that nonsense and see through the division, see through the lie, see through the pure manipulation to divide us, because they know together, when we pull that curtain back as a whole and say, get the hell out, and we're putting you on trial for all the crimes against humanity you have caused, to include this recent bullshit hoax that you just pulled and had us locked down and ruin the economy for absolutely nothing other than your ulterior agenda. And now followed up with this. But this is all good because the change is coming. And I am super excited about this. And here's where it really boils back to. Circling back to you watching this. How are you? Right? I handle change. Look, here's what I've determined. I don't get out of this freaking journey alive anyhow. And I understand that statement years ago that as a child I didn't quite understand. Give me liberty or give me death. I was like, wow, that's a bold statement. As a child, I thought, man, that's kind of courageous. Shit. Look, I already signed up for the Marine Corps. I already went in there knowing that I might not make it out. I was good with that. I was willing to give my all to protect the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. And it's sickening to see, with the blinders off, the corruption and the people trampling on the liberties that we as citizens supposedly have, but it's been gone for a long time. And it's time to take it back, and that's what the change is all spurring here. So take a deep breath. Change is a-coming. Now, with change, there's going to be some paths. It's going to take some paths that may not be the most comfortable. It may not be like jumping for joy. Hey, this is amazing. It's going to have some possible pain. It's going to have some possible tears. I mean, I'm sure many of you have had tears shed, as I have, over some recent events, over watching someone get murdered right in front of our eyes, right? That's nothing that any human wants to see happen to another human. And it's sickening, it's disgusting, and that's one of many that it's time for change. Not just in the U.S., there's huge amounts of change coming that's going to be exciting. But let's talk about the change for you. Because look, you may have been a business owner with a thriving business a few months ago, and you weren't allowed to have it open. The doors were shut. Wasn't planned, just was how it all went down. You may have had a job just a couple months ago. That may have all went out the door as well. So the situation's real. And a lot of this stuff, and what I see, with the blinders off, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. And I get it. With that childhood I talked about, there was a lot of uncertainty that I grew up with. So change I was used to, uncertainty I was used to. This is home, baby. This is what I grew up in. And my stepbrothers and sisters all around the U.S. mostly, some are outside, but they're still part of the U.S. You know what I'm talking about. We grew up around this. We grew up around chaos, around change, around uncertainty. But not everybody did. So if you're dealing with it, just know those two quotes pull me through. This too shall pass, and every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. So this is a huge adversity that has huge benefits coming in due time, and hopefully sooner than later. But the good news is there's enough people who the blinders have been dropped. The giving a shit of what other people think has been dropped. It's now time to take the actions that you know are yours to take. It's now time to not sit around and hope for the best. It's like, okay, what can I do and what am I going to do to get my oxygen mask on for myself and for my family? What are the actions that I can take now to make sure that myself, my family, my community is taken care of? And that goes into stretching out and asking and helping others. The more you help, the more you'll be helped. How can I help? Right? And it's going to be coming together where we win, where the corruption dissipates, where the bullshit ends, where the people are held accountable for the crimes against humanity that we are currently still living through. And I'm excited about that. And it only happens through coming together. The division is going to be in the media. Us versus them is the classic play for all wars, for all division, for all control. Divide and conquer, baby. So whether that's by sex, by race, by political party, by religion, you name it, they're going to throw everything they can to divide us. 6 feet apart is part of that, by the way, to divide us. Divided, we are conquered. Together, we are unconquerable. It is the few that are doing this, and the masses, when we come together, it's not even, it's just, come on, the gig's over. The Wizard of Oz, we see you. The bullshit doesn't work anymore. Get out of there. Come on, you're done. You're done. You should have been done decades ago, but get the hell out. It's time for new stuff. So that's where we are. So for you, take that deep breath. This too shall pass. Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Every day, what's mine to do? Every day, what's mine to do? Wake up and ask yourself, what's mine to do today? And possibly plan the day before. What's mine to do to get me from where I am now to where I want to be? And you have to ask yourself. I break it down in those 3 areas with your health, your relationships, and finances. Health, this is your body, this is your machine. This is the billion-dollar, if not trillion-dollar machine that you've got. And if it's not at optimal, you're not getting the proper sleep, you're not giving it the proper good stuff, get detached. You need to separate from anything, separate from the bullshit news, and watch how amazing your life will be. Trust me. So anyhow, get your health right, your mental, physical, emotional, spiritual health. Go for a morning walk every day. And if you can't do it in the morning, do it in the afternoon. If you can't do it in the afternoon, do it in the evening. Go for at least one walk a day. 30 minutes one direction, 30 minutes back. Eat the proper food. Don't eat the crap. Drink lots of water. Get proper sleep. Relationships. Talk with people, not the negative people that pull your energy down, with the people that have positive things in the motion, right? You focus on the problem, you're going to get more problems. Focus on the solution. We are where we are. Where are we going next? Hang around those type of people. Don't hang around the people that are focused on the problem. They're focused on the solution. You want the ones on the solution. The problem will pull you back down. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. You want to be around the people that are pulling your energy, frequency, vibration up, not by the ones that make a bright room darker when they walk in. You know what I'm talking about. And for your financial situation, look, shit changed. Shit changed a few months ago. And you have to improvise, adapt, and overcome. You got to figure it out. What can you do to put your oxygen mask on for you and your family? Every option. Well, I've tried it all. No, you haven't tried it all. Sit down, pen and paper, start talking to people. How and where? How can I help? What can I do? Who do you know? Here's what I'm good at. How can I provide value? Do what you must to put your oxygen mask on for yourself and your family. And look, I tried counting the other day of how many carpets I've had pulled out from under me on my journey. And I'm talking significant revenues, significant things that took years to build. You wake up one morning and you go in and like, what happened? Whoop, carpet pulled out. Whoop, boom, gone. Got to start over. How many times have I had, if I'm an expert at several things. One of them is starting over. And look, it happens, man. It's like, shit, I didn't want this, but I'm here. So I'm not going to focus on, yeah, you may curl up in a ball and cry for a little bit. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off. Like, all right, well, shit, I'm still alive. still breathing, still focus on those things you can do, and then start asking questions. All right, where am I going next? What can I do? Who can I help? How can I help them? What can I do? And start reaching out, talking, connecting, focusing on the upward solution, not the downward problems. And watch, very quickly, you'll get healthier, you'll get happier, you'll have more connection with your friends, your family, your community. You'll be able to provide value. The more you give, the more you'll receive. And man, we'll pull through this. But I just wanted to reach out, hopefully share some inspiration, hopefully just let you know there's light at the end of this tunnel. And hey, you know what? There's many times in my past I was like, well, yeah, it's a light, and I think it's a train that's finally going to finish me off because this is crazy. I have no idea how I'm getting out of here. Keep walking one step at a time. And if it is a train, tuck up against the freaking wall and let that sucker pass, and then keep walking more. Life, no one told me or you or anyone it was going to be simple, but it's one heck of a journey. I see it as like a journey to the amusement park. I see it as, look, my time is going to be brief. Whether this is my last day, tomorrow, next year, next decade, 40, 50 years later from now, who knows? None of us know. But it's fast, regardless of how long we're here. I was by my mother, who died at 52 years old in 2007, by my father at 56 years old, who died in 2009. And I realized, and I was in my own near-death situation, I was walking towards the bright white light. What the heck year was that? September 11th, 1998. Walking towards the bright white light, said, stop, this isn't how it's supposed to end. I know you had more for me to accomplish, send me back. And this is my second chance. And what I've determined is, it's brief regardless of how long we're here. And what I don't want to have is regrets at the end of my days, on my last breath. What I want to have is fist bumps with the people that are around me, say, holy crap, was that a crazy adventure or what? We went for it. And that's my wish for you. So I treat it like an amusement park. We're here for a brief time. My son was here visiting. We went to amusement park. We went to Universal Studios. It was like we rented the daggum thing for ourselves. There was zero line for any rides. We were done with all the rides before noon. It was amazing. Anyhow, so thank you for all the people staying home. It made the amusement park amazing. So this is an amusement park called life, and we're here. And so when we got there, we were there before the gate opened. We knew which ride we were going to first, Rip Ride Rocket, and then we knew where we were going at the end of it. Okay, what do we do next? Oh, you want to ride it again? Okay, great. And we knew. So where are you and where are you going is the key thing. And my son said, Dad, did you see? He's like, no one did it better than us. No one had more fun than us that day. You know, he's like, man, we were going from one to the next. We knew where we were going. We were doing it. We hit it hard. And he's like, man, I saw people just sitting around and they looked bored and they were tired. Like, it's your choice to do what you want to do in this life, but go for it. And when you get, hey, we're heading towards this ride. And guess what? We walked all the way over to one ride. It's closed down right now. Okay, great. We didn't pout. You didn't, oh, that's crap. Give me your manager. Like, there's nothing you can do. Okay, great. And we don't know when it's going to be open. Okay, that one's down. Where are we going next? Like, plans don't always go to plan, but you keep going. So in this journey, it's brief. The day was over like that. We had a blast, but this journey is going to be over too, like that. And I'd rather you have amazing adventures versus, man, I wish I would have, or a lot of regrets. So step up, dust yourself off. All right, hey, it is what it is. I'm still alive. Where am I going next? Who am I talking to next? What's the next thing for me to do? Go do it, enjoy it, make it an awesome, memorable journey. And if you're like, who the hell is this crazy guy? Nice to meet you. If you know me, you already know I'm crazy, so that's cool. If you haven't grabbed my free gifts, I have during all this wildness given away courses, interviews, all sorts of great value that's got price tags next to them. But if you click on all of them, they're free except one. And it's highly discounted, but all of them on the page are free except one. And you can go get them at tombeal.com / what the heck did I call it? Present. tombeal.com / present. For two reasons. One, it's a present, my gift to you. And two, present. There's nothing more important and more valuable than this present moment. Don't waste it. Take advantage of it. Stop, balled up in a corner and focusing on the problems. Get up, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get clear on where you're going. Focus on the solution. Get into the present. Have a burning desire that motivates you, that inspires you, that gets you fired up. You're up early because you're excited, and you're staying up late because you're excited, because you've got a purpose. You've got a reason for being here. Figure out what that is. And then you go to tombeal.com/present. In those courses there, the interviews with other top experts, something will click. Holy crap, that opened your eyes up. Man, I'm going to go explore that. Just get excited about something and get up off the couch, get off the crap. And I'm talking social media too. Like, don't get stuck there all day. Don't be tapped into the daggum TV, it's got one purpose, to instill fear and division. Why? Because it's a propaganda machine controlled by the freaking deep state, and the masses are hypnotized, but there's enough of us that are open enough and see the BS to where change is going to happen. Get away from that crap. Get rid of the TV, and many times cut down your social media tremendously and focus on good stuff and start taking actions that are going to get you memorable, fun, amazing times on this journey that we call life. All right, so go to tombeal.com/present. Get those gifts. Leave me your comments. Share this, whatever. But what you need to do is make today great. Get your presents. tombeal.com/present. I'll talk with you soon. Make today great. Bye for now.